Abdullah Omar is from Kelantan. He lives in a boarding school at Sungai Bisi near Kuala Lumpur. Together with 7 others, Abdullah shares this large, airy dormitory. At 6 every morning, they wake up to the bugle's call to prepare for the day. There are more than 500 others. Unlike other schoolboys, they wear military uniform and they learn to live a disciplined life like soldiers. They are in the boys' wing of the Royal Military College. They serve to lead. The Royal Military College, founded in 1953, is sited in Sungai Bisi, Kuala Lumpur. Here, the students receive first-class secondary education as well as a framework of military discipline and, what's more important, training for leadership. The boys' wing is dedicated to leadership education. The boys enter at Form 4 level and may study up to Overseas School Certificate and Higher School Certificate. Like Abdullah, many others are studying to gain places in the cadet wing, where they will be trained for commissions into the Malaysian Armed Forces. At the same time, other boys are studying hard to enter the university and later into civilian professions, such as the public service, commerce and industry. The boys choose their own careers. Military training is an important part of leadership education. The boys learn map reading, the use of weapons, and elements of military tactics. The modern kitchen has all the facilities and provides wholesome meals. Muslim students have their own food specially prepared for them. The college library, the store of knowledge, is well patronized. After dinner, study is compulsory. The boys do their reading in special preparatory rooms. They have worked hard for this examination, determined to join the cadet wing of the college. For most of them, their ambition is to have a career in the armed forces. Here is a happy family party, the Lai family. They are celebrating a family reunion. Lai Kim Hin has gained a Division 1 certificate in the recent Overseas School Certificate examination. His elder brothers are already in uniform. He wants to be an officer in the Royal Malaysian Navy. His father gives his blessings as Kim Hin has been accepted in the cadet wing of the Royal Military College. Naya is from Malacca and has just finished school. He has seen an advertisement in the papers about a military career and has decided to make it his own. He wants to become an officer in the armed forces and his father is full of encouragement. So Naya sends his application. On arrival at the college, Kim Hin draws his kit and collects his books, which are given free to him. Straight away, Kim Hin draws a salary of $242 a month. Board and lodging are provided free of charge, as well as other benefits. Naya too has been lucky in his application and has been called for the selection exercise. Although most of the candidates for the cadet wing are directly enrolled from the boys wing, others, like Naya, are fresh from school or have just had a short term of employment. The minimum qualification for this mode of entry is the Division 2 certificate, but for short service commissioned training, Division 3 holders can also be entertained. For some of them, this is their first visit to Kuala Lumpur. They are taken to the Ministry of Defence, from where, for the lucky ones, their future will begin. On arrival, they are housed in a comfortable dormitory. Here they are fully briefed about their forthcoming tests and interviews. During the selection exercise, the candidates undergo intelligence, physical endurance, aptitude and leadership tests. The tests are intended to reveal aspects of leadership potential. Although scholastic ability is very important, it is only one of the requirements. A comprehensive medical test is compulsory. Those who do well in the tests are finally interviewed by the selection board. Naya has been successful up to this stage, and now he appears before the final board. The board consists of the chairman, who is the chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, the principal assistant secretary of the Ministry of Defence, and 2 serving officers. The president of the preliminary board is present to brief them on the results of the previous tests. In the cadet wing of the Royal Military College, drill is a basic thing in the training of all officers. Regular officer cadets spend 60% of their training on military routines and only 40% on academic studies. The military curriculum gives a cadet a broad knowledge of military subjects. From the early lessons on the elementary techniques, he will move on to specialized training to fit him for the branch of the service which he has chosen to serve. Cadets selected for entry in the Navy or the Air Force start along the same path as the Army cadets. The training for short service commissions is shorter in duration and entirely military in scope. Apart from drill, there is weapon training. All cadets must learn to use their weapons efficiently. Some of the best shots in the armed forces are to be found amongst the officer cadets. Jungle lane shooting exercises train the cadet to be alert. Then there is the battle PT. The cadets, loaded with full equipment, are put through their paces, surmounting obstacles and performing assault exercises, which test their youthful endurance and strength. In this specially designed room in the college, cadets study the various exercises, using scale models in military maneuvers. Here they learn tactics by conducting mock battles and movements of troops. From theory to practice, the cadets go out on all types of military exercises.
Inilah sumpah pernikahan kita menuju medan mati. Andai kata kami gugur semua, taburlah bunga di atas pusara. Kami mohon doa Malaysia berjaya. Semboyan telah berbunyi menuju medan bakti.
The object of the academic studies is to raise the general standard of education of the regular cadets, which will also help them in their military studies. The main subjects include the social studies, science and mathematics. The social studies include principles of government, world history and economics. Science and mathematics lay the foundation for the future officers in the technical arms of the services. All cadets attend classes in Malay and English. The Navy and the Air Force cadets receive their basic education here. Most of the naval cadets complete their training in England and Air Force cadets in various parts of the Commonwealth. Games are compulsory in the college. Officer cadets are expected to play hard as well as to work hard, and many of them are outstanding athletes. Games at least keep them fit. The cadets observe the routine and ritual of the military life. A guest night is a monthly affair, and the cadets are dressed in splendid mess kit to entertain senior officers and other invited guests. They learn how to manage an officer's mess by running it themselves. They conduct their own guest nights. They learn the niceties of social demeanor. At the dinner table, the proper etiquette and formalities are observed. The future officers must be impeccable in their table manners. Finally, at the end of each memorable dinner, the royal toast, a drink to the health of His Majesty, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. As the last term draws to a close, there is a final burst of energy, more drills, more games, and of course, more mugging for the final exams. the day of reckoning when they sit down for the finals. They have to do well if they are to be assured of a career in the armed forces. Graduation day is the climax of 2 years' training. They call it the Sovereign's Parade. It is a great occasion for all the successful students like Abdullah Omar, Lai Kim Hin and Naya, who have passed with flying colours. They have worked hard and proved their mettle as the future leaders in their respective fields. Parents and relatives and girlfriends, ministers and other important guests are present to witness the Sovereign's Parade. His Majesty the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, who is Commander-in-Chief of the Malaysian Armed Forces, and Her Majesty the Raja Permaisuri Agong are received by the Minister of Defence, Tun Abdul Razak, and the Chief of the General Staff, Lieutenant General Tan Sri Abdul Hamid bin Bidin. Resplendent in the uniform of Supreme Commander of the Malaysian Armed Forces is His Majesty the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. The defence of our nation depends on the strength of our armed forces and the quality of leadership. Responsibility rests on the shoulders of many young officers trained for courageous leadership in the Royal Military College. The Royal Military College has been entrusted with a significant role in the defence of our Malaysian nation in peace and in war. Thus, our young officers have been trained not only for a career, but also a mission in life. These newly commissioned officers can really be proud of their achievements. They have a good future in the armed forces and an important task, leadership in the defence of their nation. The Sword of Honour was won by S. Alagan, the outstanding senior cadet for the year. Military College produces fine young officers for the Malaysian Armed Forces. The newly commissioned officers can look forward with confidence and pride, confident in serving their country in the true military tradition, and proud in living up to the motto of the Royal Military College, serve to lead. Long live Malaysia.